do. Party, hallelujah, because we know what to do. What's up, folks? And we're back. I'll give you guys all a second to tune in here before I get to running my yapping my lips, or is it flapping my lips? Is it yapping lips or flapping lips? I don't remember. We got to get it right though. So for those of you who are watching this after the fact, I apologize for the silliness up front. We'll get down to business here in a second. Totally not going to edit this video because that's not how we roll around here. So with that said, if you're new around here, which you're probably not if you're watching my live videos, welcome. Either way, welcome. Thanks to all of you who've been keeping up with me on the social media. It's actually been a couple of months since I've done a live YouTube jamathon. Wanted to get back in touch with you guys. Had a little bit of free time on this trip. I'm at a convention down here in Tampa, hoping to do some business development, as it were. But wanted to say hello. We got Roy Montero. Hey, Bryant. Roy from California. What up, dude? Fellow ENTJ. Right on, man. Taj Marie, long time. Hello. Wow, this is kind of late. Really late. Well, that depends on where you live, Taj Marie. It's midnight where I am because I'm in Florida. But I just got finished doing our thing down here today. We flew in today, getting ready for the convention. Mañana. Actually, the convention's not really until Monday, but we're here early to do our business development movement. And I just had dinner with some really awesome people, believe it or not. Had a really good time. Just shot the video for, and really just an update what's going on with me, because I know we haven't done the regular hangouts like we've done in the past. And midnight was the only time I really had time today to do it. And I don't know if I'm going to have time the rest of the week. She's in the same time zone. Jimmy, Florida, too chill. Yeah, it is chill here. Brian, this is somebody, and the comments are fading. Come on, YouTube. Hi, Brian. Arian from Kuala Lumpur. What's up? I think, is it Arian or Arian? Hello, everyone. Great to see you, B. Great to see you too, Ursula. So just wanted to give you guys some updates. What's going on with me? What's going on with the business? What's going on with YouTube? You've probably seen some videos come out recently. Some people are like, yo, he's back. Kind of. I wouldn't say that I'm back in a YouTube way, simply because YouTube is kind of an everyday grind for most people that consider themselves YouTubers. I certainly do not. Turn this light out of my face. Is that okay if we're not completely crazy bright in the face? I don't consider myself a YouTuber per se. I'm a person who uses YouTube. You know, I heard Gary Vaynerchuk say something today that really stood out to me, because I feel exactly like he does. And I'm always glad when people like him say things that many of us think, because then it makes it, you know, when a person of authority says a thing, you're usually more inclined to listen. You know, so if I say it, you know, I have a certain amount of authority, but I certainly right now today on the internet don't have Gary Vaynerchuk authority. But he's like, you know, he basically said, I don't give two craps. Let's see. Net friending with April says, hi, Bryant. This is April 2.0 from Knoxville, Tennessee, and I'm an ENFJ, and I love me some Gary V. Yeah, he's awesome. What he said was, I was actually listening to him on the plane, and he said, dude, I don't give two craps about social media. He said, the only reason I'm on social media and I'm so passionate about it is because I'm a salesman and it allows me to sell things. It's a little different for me. The reasoning's a little bit different for me, although in philosophically it's pretty much the same. I'd say semantically it's a little bit different. You know, and I've been saying that since, you know, I used to run message forums back in the day. And it's just interesting to see, you know, I said that probably 15 years ago. I was like, I don't care about, you know, it wasn't Facebook at the time, MySpace, whatever it was. It's like, I don't care about these platforms. Like, I'm not, let's see, Daniel Lagos says, hey, BC, nice to see you tonight. Greetings from Mexico City. I know we will learn, as always, something really good out of this video. Thank you. Thank you. Sarah says, hi. Hey, Sarah. Good to see you. But the point, so I don't have to be so long-winded, is I don't care about social media. Like, I'm not a social media fan. I don't love YouTube. I appreciate that YouTube exists and allows me to make content for people, but I don't love YouTube in and of itself. Right? I don't love Facebook. Like, trust me, if I could successfully change people's lives without social media at the scale that I want to do it, which I talk about reaching 1 billion people. You're not going to reach 1 billion people and change lives without using the internet. It's just not going to happen. Not in 2018, right? Genghis Khan probably did it indirectly over many centuries with the people he destroyed and took into his camp, right? But in today's age, you got to use the internet, and the internet is what we now call social media. Chandler Daniel says, and I'm an INFJ, and I love your videos. They have been very helpful for me. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear it. So I wanted to use this video as an opportunity just to give you an update what's going on with me. What can you expect or not expect in the YouTube space going forward, even if I decide to stay on YouTube long term. More on that in a second. But just wanted to share that Gary Vee quote because I thought it was important. I need people to understand, like, I am not a YouTube advocate or a Facebook advocate or a Snapchat or any of this stuff. Like, I use these platforms because they help me to reach people, period. Like, if YouTube shut down tomorrow, wouldn't even shed a tear. I wouldn't, because I have alternatives, right? And, you know, when you're in my shoes, you're way more of a producer than you are a consumer. Right? I don't consume, like, people ask me, did you hear, Flip Flop Flubaroo made a video? No, I didn't hear about it. I don't know what Jake Paul's doing. I don't care what Jake Paul's doing, right? None of that stuff's important to me. And I don't have a problem with him personally. I'm just saying, like, I don't get betterment out of consuming that type of content, so I don't care, right? So I'm a producer more than a consumer. So when you're a producer, you're agnostic to the platform. You go, hey, Kimberly, am I late? You're never late. You're here. When you're a producer, you're agnostic to platforms. If YouTube burns down tomorrow, which I don't wish that on them, there's a lot of nice people at YouTube that I'm friends with, but if the company stops functioning, just from like, I would be sad that people would be hurting, but I wouldn't be sad that YouTube didn't exist anymore, if that makes any sense. Right, so I'm with Gary on that. Whereas mine's not really, it's because I can sell things. It's because I can push knowledge that helps people change their lives, right? And certainly I do sell things using the internet, so that's important. But I need people to understand that. And what's going on with me, I actually just filmed the video for a new program that I'm launching. It's totally free. It's called the 52 Book Challenge. I'm going to be putting the video on Facebook first, hopefully tomorrow morning if I can get my website to cooperate. I'm actually, while you guys are actually tuned in while I'm working on my website. And yeah, so we're going to launch the 52 Book Challenge kind of unofficially tomorrow with a Facebook video. I'll eventually put the video on YouTube as well. YouTube is kind of a different monster. Facebook, I can live in the moment and publish something and get it in front of the people I want to see it. YouTube, I got to rely on the subscription feed and then SEO and all these other things to get around to showing it to you guys. And this is why I really encourage you. Let's see, Arian says, have you written a book, Bryant? I have. It's called The YouTube Survival Guide and The YouTube Gamers Survival Guide. I've written 2 books. YouTube, I'll eventually put it on YouTube, but I typically put that stuff on Facebook, which is why I say if you don't follow me on Facebook, do that, because those of you who have kind of been fiending for more content from me, Facebook is where I still publish something at least a couple of times a week. Sometimes it's not video, sometimes it's me writing something or posting a picture that I thought was cool. But it's still a way to interact with me, but it's also a way to stay up with what's going on way better than you ever will on YouTube, right? I published a post the other day that said, hey, how did you guys like the new trailer on the YouTube channel? And I think 80% of people were like, what trailer? And then like 10% of people were like, yeah, it was awesome. And then one person said they thought it sucked or something like that, right? So cool, which all feedback's good feedback. But it's, Facebook is where, and I've said it 1,000 times, so I won't beat the horse to death. Some of you just don't want to follow me there, totally fine. Some of you don't have Facebook accounts, especially you younger folks, totally fine. Some people send me messages on Snapchat. I usually say don't do that because me and Snapchat, that's where Gary Vee and I kind of part ways, and it's because I'm agnostic to platform, but I'm also I respect the platforms for what they are, and the audience that I'm trying to reach is not really the Snapchat audience. Although eventually the Snapchat audience would become my audience, so I am there, but it's not like I'm hanging out producing regular content. Right? So something to think about. If you want to stay up with what's going on and stay in touch with me, you want to have interaction with me, Facebook's the way to do it. I do not get your Facebook feed even though I follow you. Not sure why. So you have to follow me. You have to make sure you like the page, follow the page, and then in the follow drop down menu, if you're on on a laptop or a desktop, hit the drop down arrow and click on. I think it's called Show First, and basically that is you subscribing to every time I post something, it'll show up in your feed. Otherwise, Facebook's not going to show it to you. Facebook wants me, and it's fine. Facebook wants me to pay to get you to see my content, unless you're just actively subscribing to following it. And so Facebook forces you to take an extra step to see that I posted something. They're a little bit more lenient when I post a video. A lot of times, if I post a video, it gets a lot more traction. But if it's a post, chances are they're not going to show it to you, especially if you haven't liked something. Like, that's why it's important too. If you want to see my content regularly, real easy way to do it: like, follow, show first, or see first, whichever one it is. Then every time I post something, like it, because then Facebook, you're telling Facebook, show me more of his stuff. So, and I know liking things is kind of out of sight, out of mind, unless someone asks you to do it. You're not thinking about it in the moment. I know I don't. I like tons of stuff that I never click like on because I'm like, I don't, whatever. I'm moving on. So if you like my content and you comment on the stuff I do, you'll always see it. Taj Marie says, just curious, have you checked out the Steam video platform? I have not. Hello, great videos from an INFP. Thank you. So yeah, Facebook's the place to be if you want to stay up with everything that's going on. The 52 book challenge will unofficially launch tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have the website up and running for that. Still remaining to be seen because I'm having some challenges tonight, but it's operator error. There's nothing wrong with the technology. It's totally me screwing it up. But so yeah, that's coming. I am getting ready to launch several new courses, and they're going to be very different from our Ninja Academy, our Social Media Ninja Academy, which is a mixture between, it's a life coaching program mixed with how to start a business program, and then how to be like a social media influencer and marketing program. So it teaches marketing and sales and business, but it also teaches a lot of life principles and things, because I feel like I can't teach somebody how to start a successful business if I can't teach you how to be a successful human being. So I put all of that content in there. So people have used it to help them get jobs. People have used it to sharpen their skills. People have used it to launch their own endeavors, right? These courses are going to be different because that course is legit like a college class. It's right now today probably pushing 70 hours of content. It's a lot of content. And what I've learned from looking at my own numbers and paying attention to what other e-learning websites and businesses do, especially ones that are way more successful than mine, is typically what happens is a person signs up and one of a couple things happens. A good number of people sign up and they never watch one video. They never log in, they never watch video. And the reason why I know this is because they'll buy my program and then they'll come to our private hangout on Facebook and they'll ask me a question that's in like one of the first 3 videos. Like like the answer is in detail in the video, right? And they'll say, hey, how do I fill in the blank? And what I usually do, and I'm not, a jerk about it, because it's their business. If they don't want to watch the videos, it's up to them. I would much prefer that they do watch the videos because it will benefit them, but it doesn't hurt me necessarily if they don't watch them. And I'll say, hey, check out this video. This is the one that's absolutely going to answer your question. I had that happen actually this past week. Someone who's been in the Ninja Academy since I first launched it. So someone that got in for like really cheap. He stopped watching the videos after a while, and I published this video like a year later. But it exactly answered his exact question, like step by step. It's a 30-minute video that would have taken him step by step, like better than I could have explained it to him, like if he called me on the phone. Like the video does a better job of it. And I was like, hey, this is the video you need to see. It's in this section, check it out. Right? You would think that if someone spent upwards of, however much he paid to get in the program, which was probably very cheap compared to how much we sell it for now, if they spent a lot of money, they would watch the content, but they just don't. Like usually with any new product, you got about 3 months of whoever buys it from you to like legit be into it, especially with e-learning, right? Let's see, we're getting some comments here. That's the mindset of an entrepreneur. Yo, my main man, how's it going? It's going great, Peter Cole. Good to see you, brother. you would think that they'd watch the videos, but they don't. And so what I'm learning is what I've got to create for people is way more short, sweet, to the point courses that can help you do certain things very quickly. Now, I can't teach you how to start a business, right, in a short. I mean, I'm going to have a shorter course for that. But like all of the things you need to know to be successful, and even all the stuff I'm still learning that I learn stuff and then I put it into the program. It's not something that I can turn around in 5 videos and package it, right? I will have a 5 video how to start a business, but that will be how to start a business, not how to run it, not how to manage it, not how to hire people, not how to fire people. All the things you got to do to run a successful business would be a much long. I mean, it's like an MBA, right? But I can teach you how to get started. And so what we're going to be launching is something I stole from Udacity called nano courses, where they're going to be shorter, much cheaper, right? Like 10 times cheaper than what like a Ninja Academy would cost, which is, Ninja Academy has cost me hundreds of hours of my life. And so and the content in there is insanely valuable. So we value it very high when we charge for it. In fact, you can't just join it anymore. We have an application program because we found with a lot of the users and viewers that I attract that in a lot of cases they couldn't afford it. So I didn't want to have people going to the sign up page and then getting discouraged like, oh man, this is expensive. Yeah, it's expensive, but it's also going to give you information you're not going to get anywhere else. And I know because I've been through other people's courses. Like I've been through some big name people's courses who will remain nameless. And when they teach on some of the stuff I teach on, it's a 20-minute video. When I do it, it's 5 videos spanning 2 hours, right? So bottom line is we're going to have these shorter nano courses that focus on things. Like one of the ones I'm really looking forward to coaching is which one? Is how to build confidence, right? Well, I don't need 60 hours to teach you how to do that. I can do that in a couple hours with a couple of videos, charge you 10 times less. You can take the course and then it'll have a ton of philosophy because I'm big on, what is the thing that makes this work, but then what's the practical application? So you can take the videos and then immediately apply it to your life. I'm hoping to have those nano courses launched next month, right? And right now I'm considering they're going to be insanely valuable just in terms of how to build confidence, right? How to be more focused, how to understand what you're really good at, right? Peter Cole says, I would love to learn more from you about your view of storytelling. Yeah, matter of fact, Anna in the VIP, Peter, I know you're a VIP in the Ninja Academy. She's about to do a whole series on storytelling over several weeks in the VIP program video. She's going to be running those for the next couple of months. So I don't know if you've been up on what's been happening, but she's got a whole, that's what her expertise is in, right? So she's going to be teaching a whole big thing on that. So if you're not in the VIP program, you're in the Social Media Ninja Academy, get in there because we've got awesome stuff coming here in the very near future. Anyway, because I'm only going to have so much battery power here tonight, I don't want to talk too long. We got the nano courses coming. I haven't 100% decided how we're going to price them. I'm thinking we're going to make it at least 10 times cheaper than the Ninja Academy. Because that way, it won't be $5 because that's just stupid. It's not worth anybody's time, and nobody would see a $5 course and think it's worth it. Right, so there's perception there, but we'll try to keep it where you don't have to break the bank to get in it. Because I've had people like, okay, I'm about to get my tax return, and then if I sell one of my children, I can get into. I'm like, dude, don't sell your children. The Ninja Academy is awesome, but let's not go broke and mortgage your house to get in there. All right, just come back to it when you're in a place where it makes sense for you financially. But these nano courses will give people that can't necessarily jump into that. And by the way, it's not just a money thing. It's more related to, I understand 70 hours of content, 90% of my students don't go through it all. So it's okay. How can I teach more succinctly, shorter lessons, but really powerful that get you up and running immediately? And so we're going to experiment with these. I look forward to having a lot of you in those courses. And it's basically all these courses are going to compile to make what we call our Good Life Playbook. So that's things like the 69 Pillars of Success are in the Good Life Playbook. Social Media Ninja Academy will be part of the Good Life Playbook. So we're going to have all of these mini courses that really let you hit the ground running. It's stuff that you can complete in a week, apply it to your life, and immediately start to see an improvement. Ursula got a second job to get books published and invest in herself. Sweet. So love the short media approach. And so does apparently the rest of the internet, because that's what a lot of the bigger education companies figured out was these big, long courses, people don't complete them unless you're like me and you're just hungry for stuff like that. Most people tap out after a certain number of hours of content. So I'm going to work to make some shorter courses. So 52 book challenge coming tomorrow. I've got the guts of the website set up. I just need to make it work on my website. And then basically the 52 book challenge is my goal to get everybody reading more and to get you, I believe I can get you to where you can read one book a week. I read about 3 books a week, sometimes more. And I have a system that I use to be able to do that. And I'm going to teach you the system. And so basically, you're going to get an email from me that gives you a summary of the book, why you should read it, why it's important, some of the key takeaways. Not all of them, because I want you to actually buy and read the book out of respect for the people that gave their heart to write them. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to have video summaries as well, so you'll be able to log into my website. I'm going to set it up so that you don't have to remember your login. It's going to come every email we send out every week. It's going to have your login, so you can just click a button and go straight to the lessons. Of course, you're going to have to create an account. That's part of it, but everything else will be kind of straightforward. You just click a link, and then you'll go there, watch your video for the week. That'll give you the summary. You'll have a link to go buy the book so that you can buy it and read it, and then we can talk about it once I create the Facebook group. We can talk about what we learned and what the takeaways were, and ask and answer questions, get more of my attention. So we're going to have that. As far as YouTube content is concerned, I'm still pushing out the 69 pillars. I have filmed all of the 69 pillars that are going to be on YouTube. It's going to go up to episode, I think, 25, and then you're going to have to join my website to get the rest. So we're just going to publish those first 25 on YouTube, and then the other 40-some are just going to be on the website. So you got to join the website, get on the mailing list to get access to that. I have filmed all of it. It'll be publishing over the next 3 weeks or so. And then the videos that we're filming for the rest of the program are going on the website. So that's still in the works. We're also going to launch a lot of these programs on Amazon Prime. So definitely, I like the Amazon model a lot better than YouTube, just as a personal preference thing. From a content distribution perspective and from just a money perspective, because I can make money without you guys ever having to see ads, which I think is cool. That's why I don't run ads on YouTube. Cool thing with Amazon Prime is it'll run ads, but you can skip them. You're just like, I don't want to watch this, and you move on. And you can watch the whole course without any ads. So I like that a lot better than doing it on YouTube, because with YouTube, YouTube, the biggest problem I have with YouTube, just personally, it's not like a gripe, it's just the reality, is that I have to fight for your attention way more than I do on other platforms where I could just either pay for your attention or I have a system that I can use to keep you informed so that I'm regularly engaging with you. YouTube's tried it with their community tab, which I do post stuff in the community tab, which interestingly enough gets a lot of interaction. So going forward, I'm not sure what I want to produce on YouTube, because what I want to produce doesn't necessarily get the immediate attention on YouTube. So it's like if I put it on Amazon, I know people are going to watch it because people are hungry for that information. They're just not going to YouTube to get it. And Facebook allows me to get stuff, and like I have a video ad running right now that costs me like a penny per view. Like, yeah, pay that all day to get a video in front of people that changes lives, no problem. So I can get as many views as I want to get very cheaply. Is Amazon a good place for creators? I haven't looked to. Yeah, it can be. The problem is creators are going to have to spend money to get on Amazon. So YouTube, for a lot of creators, because they're either broke or bootstrapping, it's good because it's free. Amazon, you're going to have to pay. Not to get your content on there, but Amazon requires that everything have closed captions. So you're going to have to pay a company to do legit closed captions. And we're going to outsource that part. and do it with the 69 pillars and then keep it moving. So Amazon's pay to play a little bit more than YouTube, but their ad model or their how they pay you models way better. It's just straight views. It's not all this watch time and CPMs and all that BS. It's just literally did the right amount of people watch this? Okay, great. Here's your money. Because they do it based on Prime subscriptions versus advertising. Like the only ads you'll ever see on Amazon are Amazon ads. But yeah, I've seen a lot of YouTube creators, like Angry Video Game Nerd is there. Mark Bustler from Classic Gamer, you guys hear me talk about him a lot. He's there. He's doing really well there. But the problem is, YouTubers, especially a lot of the people I've coached, they want instant gratification. Like, I want to have 1 million subscribers tomorrow. It's like, well, you're not good enough to have 1 million subscribers tomorrow, so keep trying. And people are like, well, what's the trick? There is no trick. Anybody that talks to you about growth hacking, I said this on a Facebook Live earlier today. Anybody that tells you that they're going to teach you how to growth hack something, you might as well replace the word growth hack, excuse my French, with bullshit. The best growth hack is to make something a lot of people like and then tell them about it. That's it, period. I don't care how good your SEO is. You can polish a turd only so much. If your videos stink, all the SEO in the world will get you in front of a lot of people once. And then it'll be, unless they're laughing at you instead of with you, like the chocolate rain guy, right? Which he's actually parlayed that into a pretty cool career, so good on him. But bottom line, not sure what's going to be going forward with YouTube. I've got some ideas that I'd like to try here, but we'll see. A lot of people have come to me on YouTube for Myers-Briggs content. Most people, especially like I was just talking about this book and the 52 book challenge. This is a lot of what I've been making videos about recently with what's called the Hexaco Test, right? The Big Six. And I just think it's a better model than, I think Myers-Briggs has worked for so many years because the people behind it were great storytellers. It's like astrology, right? The zodiac signs. People tell stories around it. So stories spread a lot easier than just raw information. And because a lot of this Hexaco Test stuff is coming from like hardcore scientists, and a human personality is not something that fits cutely into a box like, I'm an INFJ. That means, well, not necessarily, right? It doesn't necessarily mean. Like, I'm a max extrovert who does a lot of introverted things. The Hexaco Test measures how extroverted you are, not whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, right? It's a scale versus saying you're one of these things or the other. And then people will get, well, what about the cognitive functions? Yeah, it's great. But again, it's great storytelling. It doesn't always apply. And a lot of the concepts that Dr. Jung came up with were, like most psychology, it's very squishy. It's things that are hard to measure, right? Like intuition. Well, I'm an intuitive, not a sensor. Well, no, you're both, especially if you believe in the cognitive functions, right? You just favor one or the other, possibly in your cognitive stack. So I think we humans have a tendency to get very religious about things that tend to kind of strike us in a way that we like. And we just have to be careful about that. I'm not saying Myers-Briggs is stupid or it's all BS. I don't subscribe to it all being BS, because I think it's a decent tool for people to self-actualize, right? Because your whole personality is whatever you decide it's going to be. And that's the trick. Like, people think, oh, I was just born like this. And, in this book they talk about, is personality genetic or is it learned? And the answer is, at least the answer that we've come up with so far, is that we don't know for sure. And it's probably a little bit of both. All right, there's probably some genetic disposition that causes you to believe in God versus a person who's just naturally inclined to be an atheist. But there's also life experience. Most atheists I know grew up in some type of oppressive system when it came to religion or people in authority. So they have a general disdain for that, right? Or they grew up in the Catholic Church, where all kinds of craziness has been going on for centuries, if not millennia. So bottom line is, when it comes to the Myers-Briggs content, don't really want to do very much more of that per se. I know a lot of people watch me for that, and that's cool. I think it's awesome. It's helped a lot of people. I'm glad that it's helped a lot of people. I'm more interested in building like legit courses that help you develop self-awareness than telling you what INFPs should eat for breakfast, or why INFPs struggle with the thing. Because the fact of the matter is, there is no black and white answer for why an INFP feels a certain way or an ENTJ does a certain thing. Because we're all, even though we have a lot of similarities and a lot of commonalities, we're all different, right? We're all like I have a bunch of friends who are also ENTJs. We're all very different, right? I'm way more nerdy than my other ENTJ friends. I'm There's things that they're into that I'm not into that would, stereotypically be associated with me with an ENTJ. Like I fall more on that than they do. It just depends on what you're dealing with. I know ENTJs that are really cool. I know ones that are pricks. So it just it gets us to a point where we humans always want overly simple answers to things. So we can say he's an ENTJ, that's why I fill in the blank. Well, dude, it's not that simple. It's never that simple. Like I get people in my comments all the time. I could never date a fill in the blank personality type. Well, it's like that's absolutely ridiculous. That's presupposing that you know everything about every human that claims to have this personality type. And then you have a whole population of people who you may classify as that don't even believe in Myers-Briggs, right? So it's just not, Myers-Briggs is not designed to be good at helping you pick a job. It can help you know if you have a tendency to be good at a thing, right? Like why an INFP may not be great at sales, but any other personality type may have that same struggle, right? There's just certain tendencies that stereotypically we have that we can talk about. But if we're trying to make major life decisions using Myers Briggs, I don't think that's a good idea at all. I think you're better off learning more about like the Big Six, the Hexaco Test, where it's measuring how honest are you, right? How much humility do you have? How flexible are you? Like, if, like, for example, it measures people on a scale of emotionality. So people who score high on emotionality or tend towards neuroticism, right? They tend to be more fearful, way more risk averse. Well, you don't want to be a hyper fearful, insanely risk averse person if you, for example, want to go be a soldier or a marine who has to go fight in a war. Probably don't want to be that person. If you score off the charts on emotionality, the and not to say that that can't be trained out of you, because I think it can, but if like a person like my mom would struggle as a soldier because she worries over everything. Everything's a big deal and it's a worry. It's like, dude, in the middle of a firefight, I can't worry about too many things except what's right in front of me to do, right? And I have to worry about the stuff that matters to worry, like the stuff I need to worry about, not whether or not someone's feelings were hurt because of the way I wrote an email. Right? So those are, I think, way better measures of how you can tend or trend toward a certain career, a certain thing you want to do. So we'll see. I say all that to say, it's a very long way to say I'm not sure what the future of YouTube looks like for us here at the BryantChambers movement. I don't in any way I don't intend to be like, I'm quitting YouTube, because I'm not mad at YouTube. I don't have any problems with YouTube. I just think other platforms are a little bit better suited to my style and what I do. We're going to get really heavy with the podcast in 2019. That's going to be huge. Right now, I have to cut my time because we're focused 100% on business development and the business. So it comes down to, I want to build these nano courses. I want to get you guys through them. I want to be able to feed you information and knowledge that's really going to help you and help a ton of people. I'm still trying to figure out what would I make for YouTube that would have the traction to help me reach my goal, which is to reach millions of people with information that's going to help them. But my biggest challenge with YouTube has always been packaging, right? I'm trying to sell a product, and I don't mean for money. I'm trying to sell people on a thing that I want to talk about, but I've never been willing to package it the way YouTube wants it packaged, right? I've never been willing to kind of go that extra mile, like even with my editing of my videos, and respecting the fact that people on YouTube, uh, the way that they consume their content is a little bit different than what I want to do. All that to say, we're experimenting. We're just looking at what's working. Like I look at what really, really works on this channel, and it's when I do, you know, semi-short videos about how a personality type navigates a space. I totally would love to do more self-awareness content, which is where the Myers-Briggs thing. Like, I just only intended to make like 16 Myers-Briggs videos and be done, all right? Just to talk about it, to get people taking the test to start to self-actualize, and then to take them through a progression of now let's move into some of these other personality tests that I think are better suited for making decisions about your life, right? So far, a lot of that stuff hasn't caught on yet, but I also don't think it's time. I think a lot of people aren't aware that these other things exist. A lot of people are just coming to Myers-Briggs, and Myers-Briggs right now kind of holds this mini monopoly because the people that run it tell the storytelling is way better. It's you're an ENFP, that means you're a campaigner. Well, that sounds cool, right? And you advocate for people, and you get the little green person on the 16personalities.com or whatever. It's just the people who use the content to use the information to sell content or write blogs. They've just been better storytellers, and that's why I think Myers-Briggs caught on. Was it's just if I can give you a quick little system that you can know who's going to annoy you or who you should marry or whatever, which I don't think it's good for that. It's cool, but what I'm trying to figure out is what type of self-awareness content can I make in the future that actually is a great help to all of you, that is also something that you would be willing to watch, but is also something that would have searchability in the YouTube space so that I can reach my goal, which is getting in front of more people. Right? It seems like I've always, every time, on both of my YouTube channels, I've always reached this position where we start to get this big growth, but it's every time been around something that I never wanted to create long term. Right? Like on my first YouTube channel, where we started getting explosive growth was actually a video game called Dying Light. That was where we first started to take off, right? It was like that one couple of videos because I got early access to the game. It blew up my YouTube channel, but I'm like, I don't even like this game anymore. And then I went back to making what I like, and people were like, well, this isn't what we signed up for. This channel's kind of been the same, other than I do enjoy the personality type content, but I don't want to make 100 more INFJ videos. Like I've said it all. You got it, right? It's what I'm working in my brain through is how do I transition all these people who came for one thing into something that would still be greatly helpful to them, but would make us both happy. One, I'd be making something that I know is more valuable to you. But again, the challenge is from a selling, not money, but selling it to you perspective. The challenge with me has always been, okay, how do I package this? Because it's always been packaging and time have always been my two biggest challenges. It's I could take the time to package it properly. I know how to do it, but it's gonna take me more time to make the video than I have to allot to it, right? Because I need to have cuts, I need to bring in other characters, I need to do storytelling, I need to make it basically into like a short film, which right now just isn't a priority for me, which is why I haven't been on YouTube much. It's eventually we'll get there and we'll be more active on YouTube when I can, focus my team on helping me make that type of content. Because right now I make the content and we have an editor, Steven, who edits it. But when I have a Gary V, when I have a D Rock following me around, we'll get there. But for now, I just have to make what I have the time to make. And what I have the time to make right now is kind of these short burst dissertations where it's like, here's what you need to know. Here's how you apply it to your life. Here, hopefully it helps you. I feel like I need to caveat every video with, and by the way, this isn't going to apply to everybody. Because, highly, people who score high on emotionality always respond with, well, this doesn't apply to me. Like, okay, I don't know why you're screaming that at me. Tell yourself, I don't care if it doesn't apply to you. That's fine. It doesn't affect me at all. It applies to the person who asked me the question that led to me making this video. But if it doesn't apply to you, rock on. Have a Coke and a smile. All right. So that's it. It's me trying to figure out, okay, what's next? I can tell you what's next. Legit is Facebook all in. Um, Amazon probably won't come around till next year, but that's coming. I want you to be aware of it. Podcast will be next year, and we're going to go hard on the podcast. You're going to see now. Here's what you will see on YouTube, though, just to kind of brace yourself. You will see a lot more marketing content. The businesses that I help, I've been making content for them a lot. A lot of the small businesses have questions, or I'll do interviews with them. That it'll be like, here's how you help grow your business using this style of marketing. You will see quite a bit more of that because that's for a much smaller segment of my audience that's expressed interest in. We want you to do more coaching around how we do our DIY marketing. And then that becomes a lead into like my academy, right? So you will see more of that because I've had expressed interest in that, and that's something that I can make very easily. The core content, the personal and professional development stuff. You'll still see 69 pillars at least to episode 25, and then you'll have to go to my website to watch the rest. But it's still free. I'm not going to start charging money for that until it's complete. So get on the website now. You'll have access to it forever for free. Um, so you'll still see 69 pillars content. Probably not too much more Myers Briggs, unless someone asks me a question that I feel like I haven't already answered that's interesting enough and beneficial enough to the group that I think I'll make a video about this. Why not? But by and large, I feel like I've made enough Myers Briggs content to last a lifetime. Because what I find is now I'm at the point where I'm repeating myself and just putting a different package on it, and that's not. I don't think that's amazingly beneficial to all of you. Pete asks, when is the book thing starting for the 52 book challenge? Tomorrow. So I hopefully will release the Facebook video tomorrow so people can join the website, and then I hope by Monday to have the first video and written review out. And so every Monday is when that stuff will go out. I'm actually going to be filming episode 1 here in my hotel with this little book right here. Um, So yeah, just wanted y'all to be up on what's happening. A lot of people saw the 69 Pillars videos come out. They're like, hey, he's back. I'm like, not technically. You'll see videos kind of pop in here and there, but I'm not going back to doing all the Friday night hangouts. I do a Monday during the day hangout now with business owners because that's my focus. Eventually, I'll get back to hangouts and stuff online. I'm thinking about doing, for Patreon subscribers, I'm thinking about doing a monthly Zoom hangout where people can just come and ask me whatever they want, and then we'll turn that into a YouTube video. I'll record it. People can just come on and actually talk to me versus having to go through the comment system here on YouTube. So, a whole bunch of things I'm working through in my mind. I know this is like a very long stream of consciousness, thinking out loud, but that's where I'm at. I'm not 100% sure with what the next move is, specifically on YouTube. I've got some ideas. Just working to figure out how we're going to implement them. I know, like, in the future, if YouTube's still a thing in 2 years, which I imagine it will be, and it's still viable for me to produce content here, I'll have probably a team helping me produce content more regularly. But for now, you'll get these maybe one video a week when I have time uploads. And maybe when I have time to come on, I might do another live call at some point this week. So if you have questions, think about what you may want to ask me while I'm sitting here in my gorgeous hotel. If you guys want to see the hotel room, check it out. Got the delicious king size bed. I wish I could show you the view. It's freaking awesome back there. Tampa's a beautiful spot. Unfortunately, the glare on the window and all kinds of other stuff prevented me from showing you the view, so I just closed the curtains and created the ambient light for lighting. Other than that, if you got any quick questions, I'll answer them before I go to bed. But that's where we are, man. Those are the things that are coming. I appreciate you guys hanging with me. Appreciate you still chiming in when I ask questions in the community. Look for more posts in the community. What I'm trying to do is supplement the fact that I don't have a lot of videos coming out with posts that I make on the community tab. So look for posts there. Think about what you got. All right, Susan Birch is here. What's up? Susan says, hey, B, I've been looking at the Big Five personality test. I think some practical tips on how to deal with the various issues that come out of these behaviors might be good. Cool. I will keep that in mind. Peter Cole says, no questions, just excitement about all this new stuff. Sarah says, good night. Thank you, Sarah. Hi, B. Says Susan. Cool. Yeah, so I can guarantee you some point we'll do more Hexaco content. I'm just thinking about how to story tell around it, how to actually make it interesting so it doesn't sound like a boring high school class. Where it's like emotionality is the measure of blah. Like how do I take more life stories like I talked about tonight? You know, people with who score insanely high on emotionality maybe don't want to join the parts of the military that have to get shot at. And that's not black and white. They can still be successful in that space, but it's all in how they manage it. So yeah, if you have no questions, I'm going to bed, yo. I know it's late for the people on the East Coast. Let's see if anybody else responded to my poll on the YouTube community. I think tips on how to change these behaviors. We are all struggling with this. Yep, yep. Change of behavior is probably a good one. Ursula says, appreciate the share concerning your future direction. Keeps me interested and always wonder what is up. Looking forward to more. Thanks, B. And says, you missed Cypri question. Okay. Tell Cypri to, I think it is it Kipri Cypri. Tell him to repost it. Because I'm on my phone. It's this stuff disappears, man. Oh, nope, I found it. Cypri asks, can I ask what your thoughts on people who lives and deals with blank mind brain fog? I'm an INFP and I have problems with it. So here's the deal. If you're dealing with brain fog, very simply, it's not a personality issue. So you can delete anything people are telling you about Myers Briggs with brain fog. It's probably related to your physiology. So if your diet sucks, you can expect to have brain fog all of the time. If your sleep sucks, you can expect to have brain fog all of the time, right? Those are probably the two biggest contributing factors to brain fog, not personality, none of that stuff. It's if you are eating right, you're getting the right supplementation and vitamins and minerals and everything you're supposed to have, and you're sleeping well, brain fog is brain fog will probably be gone. So yeah, I wouldn't worry, and I love that you guys are very into the Myers Briggs. I was too for a good long time, till I started to find that a lot of what actually affects us is more biological than psychological, and Myers Briggs is really just scraping the surface of a much deeper conversation. And people have turned the Myers Briggs into a religion, which is just dangerous. I don't support that at all. Like I'm in fill in the blank personality type, so that means these black and white statements that I'm about to make, like it's never the case, right? No one, like the thing I told you guys from the beginning, the ancient proverb that says a person is as they think they are. One, two. Um, what was number two? Nobody is always anything. Okay, so there's. Wait a minute. Why is it not showing me more things? Okay, here we go. So some people left some comments here. I'm checking out. Hmm, it's an interesting question. Taj Marie says, I will look out for new content. However, I'm somewhat bummed because I was edged out of a postdoc opportunity, mostly by some dumb mistakes I made on behalf of my application. Oh man, this stinks. Yeah, so if you want regular content, Facebook's the place to go. If you like sporadic content that I make when I get around to making it, you can stick around on YouTube. We'll definitely have some more stuff. Matter of fact, there'll be a new 69 Pillars video every Monday until we get to 25, so that's a heads up. Cypri says, thanks for answering my question. Feel that could be one of my issues. Yeah, if your diet and sleep suck, that's your brain fog issue. It's not, it has nothing to do with the Myers Briggs, I can guarantee you that. Let's see. Leadership. Sweet. Taj Marie says, so now I'm looking into other opportunities, maybe even business development. Awesome. Peter Cole says, I have trouble sleeping and feel like I don't get enough, but I hear conflicting info on how much is needed. So, how much is needed is based upon the human being. So, and the problem is, like, all of us want these cookie cutter solutions, not realizing that physiologically, biologically, psychologically, we're all wired differently. at least to a degree. So for some people, they can get by on 6 hours. Some people need 9. Experiment with it and figure out what actually works for you. Don't. That's one of those things we're reading about. It's not going to help you that much because you're going to be reading somebody else's experience. Like, you need to figure it out for yourself. Like, get 9 hours of sleep. And if you feel awesome, sweet. Like, there's been days where I've slept 12 hours. I felt freaking terrible when I got up, right? But I slept 7 hours. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm cool. And remember, sleep is cumulative. So if you sleep 9 hours tonight, but then the next 3 days you sleep, or let's say for the next 3 days you sleep 3 hours a night, and then you get a 9 hour night, still probably not going to feel amazing after the 9 hour night because it's cumulative. You're not resting enough across the board, not just in one given day. Uh-oh, I knocked over Tony Robbins' book. I brought a lot of books to read with me on this trip. Hopefully I can get through them all. Cool. All right, I'm out, friends. Going to bed. I love you all much. Remember that we are stronger than I. See you soon.